Well, I wasn't going to get that deep into it, but I think there's a possible connection. Yes, I do.
Between Bigfoot
and... I'm in 37.
6X.
What about side effects? And that was approved. Kevin says your drink 70 is guaranteed.
Digital signal. We do a little bit of processing. A flash bulb goes out and it releases its energy very, very quickly.
Boom. Do is let you gentlemen relax, and when we come back, we will have that answer for everybody, all right?
September 28th, Governor Gary Johnson and Martin Chavez take on the Tough Topics Live.
Well, here's the only dot you need to know. Shopping.com.
Here's where it gets interesting. We believe that lack of information on the characteristics and influence of UFOs increase the threat of incorrect identification. Mass transition of UFOs along trajectories close to those of combat missiles could be regarded by computers as an attack.
Indeed.
But think of that for a minute. The Soviet Union actually considered that UFOs could be misidentified by our Star Wars system as a... In 1960, all the bombers at Travis were put on red alert, and they're actually rolling down the runways after their base radars detected targets flying from the North Pole.
Really?
When those targets disappeared from the screen, they were later on explained as radar reflections of the moon.
Uh-huh. I take it that we increased our DEFCON level. You wouldn't dispatch that kind of force without any...
makers of deep space sensors. I don't know if there's any tie in there, but as we said earlier, there's coincidences and then there's real strong coincidence.
Yeah, that's right.
Nuclear warheads retargeted Maelstrom 2 times.
I've heard that, yes.
We had an Atlas F ICBM launched in 1964 that was shot down by a UFO.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
Don't just zip by that one.
Oh. Okay.
I hadn't heard of that. We had an ICBM shot down by a UFO. You want to run that one by me?
Sure.
Some detail?
Dr. Robert Jacobs, I believe his name is, was running a camera system on a mountain in Big Sur, tracking the polar launches of Atlas missiles out of Vandenberg Air Force Base.
Yeah.
It's the same camera, by the way, that tracks all the shuttle landings at Edwards Air Force Base. So it's the same system. In December, I'm not remembering the exact date, but December 1964, he was filming Atlas F launch. During the course of the filming, and he's just sets the camera's on automatic, he's not watching the film all the time.
Sure.
The Atlas blew up. Now this was in the 60s, and if you recall, it was not a bit uncommon for our missiles to blow up in the 60s. That was almost a given for a while there with the early ones. NASA said, no, we had a malfunction.
How clear was the footage?
Well, the distance from Big Sur to Vandenberg is substantially less than Big Sur to Edwards Air Force Base.
So the UFOs over the Capitol, the case that's in my book that I'm currently writing, I found the pilots that actually were involved in sent up by the United States.
Now, when you say the Capitol, Darrell, you mean as in Washington, D.C.?
In 1952, yes. The UFOs were spotted over the Capitol, and a series of these UFOs. We had several pilots go up in Lockheed F-94B Starfire and to intercept 6 unidentified UFO objects. They were tracked on radar. They were also seen by commercial pilots, as well as, of course, the pilots themselves. I've recently found the pilots, and they've told their story. Long story short about that is simply this. After the 2 pilots did their job, then they landed at Langley Air Force Base before it was the CIA headquarters, and I had their flight logs verified the story. They were both taken and placed in 2 different rooms. Then they were questioned and asked the question, what did you see? And then they relayed the story. And then after that story was relayed, the interrogators looked at them and said, no, you didn't.
You didn't see what
You didn't see anything like that. And you won't see anything like that.
View on what occurred, when on alert, and where does your information with regard to DEFCON 2 come from?
That comes from a person who would prefer to remain anonymous.
I had heard that Cheyenne Mountain went into a lockdown condition.
Yes.
That is correct.
Yes.